I've had some Chelsea fans on the terrace on Sunday and since, that are buzzing with the draw, buzzing with the improvements, buzzing with the fight, believe they're on their way back to the top. And then I've had others, i.e. Johnny Minerals, have just said celebrating a draw, being happy we've conceded 4. We're in the pit still. Awful. How do you, first of all, we'll talk about the game. What did you make of it as a game? And do you think it shows signs that Chelsea are on their way back to the top?
The game in itself, I don't think it was a penalty on Haaland. I think that was so soft. So soft. He brought that penalty. I couldn't believe it was given. I thought he'd gone out for a throw, for a goal kick or a corner or whatever.
It muted you then.
My mic just randomly turning itself off. Great. So yeah, I don't think it was a penalty. And then I thought, as soon as that goal went in, I thought, right, that's them finished. And then they got the equaliser. Half time, I thought, right, Pep's going to absolutely ruin that lot. They come out, they got the goal quick, City, and I thought, right, now they're finished. But they showed some fight, man. They showed some fight. But Man City, by the way, and listen, big up Cole Palmer for the balls to take that penalty right at the end. Yeah, because we've seen a lot of players that are in and around that age that they don't want it, mate. Yeah, or they miss him or whatever. And I'm not having a dig at Saka before anyone thinks I am, by the way. Yeah, because he does step up and take penalties.
I thought you were having a dig at Kane, to be fair, in the World Cup.
That's what I was having a dig at against France. I still all bit in space. No, but listen, pressure penalties ain't for everyone, right? But I kind of agree with Johnny Minerals. Big up Minerals. Let's have it right. Land in the Minerals as always. Yeah, conceding 4 goals, man. Like, you conceding 4 goals to Man City, cool. You've scored 4 goals against Man City and not won. Like, if you score 4 against City, you should be winning the game, no matter how good they are. I'm sorry, you should win the game. But that game was entertaining for a neutral, but it was so poor at times, man. It was like a table tennis game. Oh, we don't want it. You have it back. You have it back. You have it. Nobody could keep the ball. Yeah, Rodri was getting nutmegged for fun. Yeah, I think there was about 7 nutmegs in that game. Rodri had 3 of it, got nutmegged 3 times. I think Foden nutmegged someone, then got nutmegged. Raheem Sterling was on smoke. He was quality. Yeah, Cole Palmer played all right. Yeah, I think Reece James pocketed Doku. Well, I say Reece James. It was James and Palmer doubling up on him. Yeah, he didn't really do anything. I thought when Grealish came on, gave him a bit more drive forward with a bit more control, winning free kicks, etc., etc. But it was a great game to watch. Probably the best game we're going to see all season. But yeah, if you're a Chelsea fan, there's still massive problems there. Like, yeah, you can show a bit of heart and a bit of hope and a bit of fight from that. But you just conceded 4 goals. Yeah, and people say, well, so did City. But when was the last time City conceded more than 1 in a game? Yeah, they conceded in this year. I think in this calendar year, I think that's only the 2nd time in the league they've conceded more than 1. Wolves the other week and then 4 this time. Yeah, and they've still conceded less goals, by the way, than they had at this time last season, Man City. They've just come off the back of 4 conceded. It's crazy, but yeah, the quality was lacking. I thought Diaz was shocking, man. Yeah, Walker was shocking. Yeah, and yeah, Vardial looked like he'd never played football. Bernardo Silva is not the guy to go in a double pivot. Yeah, Haaland, cool, you got a couple of goals, but I didn't really see much of you, mate. Yeah, but again, they weren't really creating massive amounts of chances, City, were they? But the one thing I will say and praise Haaland for, his first touch has massively improved. Yeah, 2 times in that game, his first touch was like, whoa, is that Haaland? Yeah, and like crazy. Big up to him. But yeah, it was a good game. But Man City, I'm sure Pep's going back to the drawing board, mate, because that ain't good enough. Yeah, and as for Chelsea, that'll give them a little bit of confidence. The fact that they've played Liverpool and drawn, they've played Arsenal and drawn, they've spanked Tottenham, and now they've drawn with City. But it ain't them games that they need to worry about. It's the games against Brentford and Everton's and teams like that, and Villas and stuff like that. Yeah, they're probably better set up for them bigger teams. Yeah, when people are playing a low block against them, they struggle. Yeah, and all the teams I've just mentioned that they've got good results against, we're having a go, aren't we? We're all going to have a go at them.
No, I understand that. Look, I think there's an element of it's multi-layered what's going on at Chelsea. They've still got so many more improvements to make, as you've alluded to. 100%, I agree. I think that there's an element of yes, there were some mistakes from both teams, but that's also because both teams performed to a high standard. So there were some mistakes, but some of the mistakes were also forced by the pressing and by how good, like Chelsea on the ball, Their touch was good. Their movement was good. They cut through teams. And I think they had the confidence to really go at City at times, which many teams kind of struggle to sort of do. And I don't think Chelsea came out and played how City expected them to. And they were kind of caught off guard by that, which was good. So I saw some really good moments of quality in the game. Where I completely agree with you, though, is that I think it's something that they can show. I think going down and behind 3 times and coming back is something to be happy with. And the reason I say that is because I remember when my team was great and we had some games. I remember actually at Stamford Bridge where we're 3-0 down and came back to draw 3-3. We celebrated the draw. But that was because we knew where we were in the grand scheme of things as a football club. And we knew that we were going to be okay. So I don't think necessarily celebrating a draw is a sign of low standards. When I celebrated that 3-3 draw at Stamford Bridge back in, I think it was 2011, that wasn't me lowering the standards of Man United. It was just, that was a good comeback from what looked like disaster. And so I can understand that. But equally, you are right in the sense of they've got to do better against the smaller teams, and this has got to be a springboard because they can't just go, oh, we're like we've been laughing about Tottenham. We've got our club back because we scored 4 goals past City. That's just do you get where I'm coming from? There's elements of positivity, but there's so much more to come from Chelsea. But then I do think they're going to get there. I do think Chelsea over the next 12 to 18 months are going to be up there challenging because there's a blueprint of how they're trying to play football. I feel like they're slowly getting better this season, and I will say this, the game against Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, and now City, in all 4 of those games, they've been written off as they're going to get slapped. They're going to get slapped. And they've been the better team for large proportions of those games. And they haven't won all of them. They've actually drawn 3 of them. But it shows that there's a team in there that can play. Because for about 2 years, Chelsea against the other fellow top 6, well, they were garbage. They looked out of the game every time. So I think there is improvements there. They've just got to keep their heads down and keep working. And I do think they've got to go and buy some experience. And the next 3 or 4 players they buy have got to be Oshermans or Ivan Tonys, players in their mid to late 20s that can bring in a bit of experience, a bit more know-how, and a bit more sort of leadership for these young players. And then I think Chelsea will be a very dangerous team again. I really do.
Yeah, they mate, I don't even know half of their bench. I can't lie.
Same.
I genuinely don't know half of their players anymore. Yeah, they definitely need a striker. I think they definitely need another centre-back. And because I don't really rate any of their centre-backs apart from Thiago. The rest of them are all a bit of a muchness, isn't it? Like, everyone's hyped up this Colwill lad. Not for me. Not for me.
You don't like him at all, do you?
I'm not saying, it's not that I don't like him. I just don't get the hype. John Terry's number on his back and that. No, sorry, mate. Like, based on what? Like, based on what? I don't really get it, if I'm honest. Yeah, as for this Badiashile guy, he can't stay fit. And this Disasi, I thought Disasi actually played really well at the weekend. Yeah, but again, he's too erratic at times. Yeah, and then their left backs, Cucurella, he's not been great, has he? Like, he done all right again at the weekend. I thought he was all right. Yeah, I thought it was harsh for the penalty, and then Chilwell can't stay fit. Like, they need some defenders, really. And I think that they need another midfielder that can create. I know they're pinning their hopes on Nkunku coming back. Yeah, but again, it's Nkunku coming back off of long-term injury in a brand new league. Yeah, that's gonna go one way or the other. He's either gonna flop from then until the end of the season, yeah, or he's gonna absolutely hit the ground running. Yeah, so they need to go and spend some more money. How much more money they got to spend?
That's the irony of it. They do need to go and spend more money because they didn't buy enough experience. And look, 200 or 300 million of the money they've spent is for investments, and I don't think I don't think they're ever going to play those players, and they'll all be sold for a profit in the next 12 to 18 months. So I think you have to look at why they've bought so many young players, and it isn't all to play them all, but they do need to go out and look again. If you were to add Victor Osimhen, I don't know, another good centre back. I can't think of a name off the top of my head, if I'm being honest with you, and an experienced midfielder to that mix, suddenly Chelsea would look a very different team, in my opinion. And it would really kind of knit them together. The same way when you guys brought in, for instance, Gabriel Jesus last year, a bit more experience, a bit more age, you became a better team because suddenly you had older players helping to guide these youngsters. You should never... But someone asked a question, naming the last time a team like brought through youngsters to go and win. And a lot of people say class of 92, but that isn't strictly true. The core of that team was 25, 26, 27, 28 years of age.
You had Cantona, Ince, Alistair, Bruce...
Yeah, Schmeichel was in goal. You had Andy Cole in the team. Brian McClare was in the squad. We bought Henningberg, who wasn't particularly young.
You just had like 4 or 5 youngsters that all broke through at the same time and smashed it.
Yeah,
but they smashed it with the players that were already doing well anyway.
Yeah, what was never the case at Man United is the young players, although they were stars, were never the players that Fergie put the pressure on for them to go and be the match winners. It was the elder statesmen had the pressure on them. I think what's gone wrong with a lot of youth projects since Leeds tried doing it, Arsenal have tried doing it. We go, right, the youngsters are the stars, the youngsters are the talisman. You never really want it. You don't really want a 21-year-old being your talisman. And even when you have a Rooney, or you look at Lionel Messi when he first came through. Yeah, he went on to be what he was, but he wasn't the guy in the first 2 or 3 seasons, he wasn't the guy they were, the Ronaldinhos, the Xavis, the Iniestas, the David Villas. The pressure was on those older players, and I think that's where Chelsea have got to get this right, if that makes sense. They really do need to go and kind of get that right.